discredited and silenced anyone that imagined ill or evil of us by divine authority on the grounds of the blood of Jesus, according to the scriptures. As this is written, I command, let it boomerang, boomerang, boomerang. Put one and say boomerang, 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 boomerang. We intercept the waster. We waste the waster. We oppose opposition. In the name of Jesus, we resist the resistor. Thank you, Lord. As you live here, I declare you will not be wasted. Let the waster be wasted. Let every opposition be opposed. Let every resistance break. Live here with the upper hand. Have dominion. And now we send the blood of Jesus to your father's house, to your mother's house, to your background. Anything that lifts up his head against you, in the name of Jesus, we ground it in the blood of Jesus. We ground it in the name of Jesus. Above all, any condition, pattern and cycles that are contrary to the will of God, to the word of God, to the plan of God for your life, today on the grounds of the blood of Jesus, we intercept it. Which one says interception, interception, intercept, interception, interception, interception. We intercept, intercept, intercept contradiction. We intercept contradiction. We command you in the name of Jesus as more than a conqueror. Tell somebody, I declare that you are more than a conqueror. Tell two people, I declare that you are more than a conqueror.
Tanumo onunchoni ha o dama chiechele wekun oni anutumo osole mojiake ubawo nani aya baba shushu. Amen.
Yeah, that's what I believe. See his sunshine is all around us, and there are beautiful clouds where you are. That's how I know that these worries will not last. I can see you've been crying and staying wide awake, asking yourself why the journey is so tough. They say tough times never last, only tough people do. So don't stop believing, I know it's gonna be better. Say la, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum, boom, la, 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 ba-dum. Can't be loved by everybody, it's impossible, you know. And trust me, it's okay, so let the toxic people go. Your peace within is more priceless than a pearl. You got to be happy, cause life's just way too short. Don't stress the little things, they will only waste your time. Just take it easy, easy like a nursery rhyme. And I'm singing, I know it's gonna be okay. So I wanna see you smile today. Hey, you just gotta be happy, man. Good days, bad days, it's all part of life. But you must keep the groove on and enjoy every single day. I'm sure you've had some happy days before. So what makes you think you can't have more? Can't have more. keep on fighting, and you see, you will soon see rainbows. Hey, come on! La 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 la, la 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 la, ba-dum ba-dum boom, la 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 la, la 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 la, ba-dum ba-dum boom, la 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 la, la 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 la, ba-dum ba-dum boom, la 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 la, la 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 la. Beautiful clouds, where you are, where you are. There are beautiful clouds, where you are, where you are. Oh, oh.
We've been hit by tragedy, and this is a tragedy for all of Ghana. It isn't a tragedy just for Accra. The flooding, as we have seen, has caused a lot of damage. We've lost lives. At the end of the day, I want Ghanaians, all of us, to come together. I don't want what is happening to break down into a partisan battle amongst the parties. There's a real issue of flooding facing Greater Accra region. And that issue is something that requires immediate and urgent solutions. And I think that that is where we should focus on. How do we solve the problem? We shouldn't get into blame games. We should focus on how we can quickly solve the problem.
We are proud of you.
What is worrying for me is that the forecasts forecast of even more rain to come. And if this is going to be more rain, I believe that the government could also consider even declaring a state of emergency, so that we deal with this in that particular format, that a state of emergency is declared, because this is a real big problem for this country, and we have to put all our energies, all our talents, all the engineers, all the hydrologists, we have to bring everybody together, regardless of party, because this is for Ghana, and let us do it for Ghana. Let us come together for Ghana and solve this problem for our country. Let's do this together, and let's provide relief, immediate relief, to the people who are affected. People need food, people don't have clothes, people don't have mattresses. Let us make sure that we come immediately to their aid to do that. Everybody should do something. Myself, I will try and help in the small way I can with some of these relief items. But I think that we are a country, our country people, our communities are in need, and we should all chip in to come and help them.
Why? We are master man. No, Yami Shan, then Yami win him up. No, no, no. It's no, you check. No, no, busy. Some busy, Yamajaba, and your pay. Never what kind of mind. Amen.
We just finished an aerial tour of Accra to inspect the flooded areas. Unfortunately, the flooding has been very extensive today for several reasons. One, the recorded rainfall today is one of the highest in several years. The Meteo are looking at approximately 140 millimeters that was dumped on Accra. Last year, the maximum rainfall was 56 on a single day. And so the volumes are much higher. And so there are many issues to the flooding in Accra. There's climate. If you look at the rainfall pattern from 2024, 2025, 2026, you see that increasingly every year we're getting more rain in Accra than we used to get. GMET say that in 2024, for a period of 30 days in June, we had 85 millimeters of rain. And then in 2025, it increased to 172. And then in 2026, for the same 30-day period in June, it increased to 333. And so the waterways are not getting a chance to recover before more rain is dumped. And the wet days are more. Out of 30 days, 22 days, it kept raining. And so there were only 7 dry days or 8 dry days in June. And so that's the climate side. That is an act of God that we can't control. But then there's also the engineering and the man-made causes. That is, like I said before, Accra is built between 2 natural bodies, the Kwapim Mountain Range and the Atlantic Ocean. And before Accra was built, the streams used to flow through this plain to reach the sea. Now, the British brought the capital to Accra, and in those years it was not a problem because Accra was a very small city. But as the population continues to increase and people continue to build, it restricts the path of the streams on their way to the Atlantic. So that's an engineering problem. We need to see how to open the channel so that the water can pass. But then there's also the other aspect, which is attitudinal and human behavior. That is dumping garbage in the drains, putting all kinds of items in the drains after we finish creating waste. Instead of sending it to the appropriate place, even in the air, we discovered many illicit dumping sites where the wetlands are. People have gone to create a waste dumping ground, and they charge 20 cedis for the Aboboya to come and fill the waste into the wetlands. And when it has filled sufficiently, they sell the land to people to come and build on it. And so we need to, one, look at it from an engineering perspective in terms of how we can open up the channels. but at the same time look at how we can identify all the buildings that are obstructing the waterways. We've said this many times, I'm tired of hearing it, but anytime you begin to take action and you start breaking houses, people think that government is inhumane. But when the problem arises like this flood, it affects everybody. And so all of us have been affected because of the conduct of a few people blocking the channels and preventing the water from passing. And so we'll call a National Security Council meeting. We're asking every district to identify, together with the Works and Housing Ministry, where the blockages in the channels are as they pass through the district assemblies, so that we can earmark those places for removal. We'll not only break the houses, we have to move the rubble out of the way, because there's no use breaking a house and leaving the rubble in the waterway. It's just the same as leaving the house. And so it's going to be quite major.
At least, yeah, what Bani or Many or Bani was here. What it is at all? What it is at all?
Your life is the most important thing right now.
At least I don't know if I want them to walk Sanka 20 years no, Moya, and can bedroom water home. Mama fancy baby, ma'am. Mama do fancy baby, ma'am. 20 years in it. 20 years in it. 20 years in it. One mabuno. One mabuno, Namupa baby fancy. One child baby, I'm 20 years. One madam, one mabuno. One madam, I'm 20 years no more. Namu ni Ghana ha. 20 years namu ni Ghana ha. Namu wa Ghana.
Bola pa.
Nadmo, I wouldn't even Nadmo for a number. Your house, your car.
Yes, the car boots are opening.
The car boots are opening. These are walls.
baby, I should have some Ghana house and then tell them to know that fire, moving fire for a montage. I think, say, I'm going to be alpha.
Okay.
Hey, I don't know. I don't know what father Braka. It's an Ashipapa, a Shiko. I try ever. The whole thing you know, a kiosk.
Hey, Papa.
Hey, Papa.
Hey, I don't know where you are. Hey, we are one person.
Hey, careful. Hey, Charlie, careful, careful. Baby, I should have some Ghana house and then tell them to know that fire, moving fire for a montage. I think, say, I'm going to be alpha.
Okay.
Hey, I don't know. I don't know what father Braka. It's an Ashipapa, a Shiko. I try ever. The whole thing you know, a kiosk.
Hey, Papa.
Hey, Papa.
Hey, I don't know where you are. Hey,
I don't know. And the boy say, my laptop, yo. Media to top pounds, whoa. Bro, it's still really heavy, yo. The laptop, one more, rather. Quiet is no, Adabraka. Mama 18. Oh, bro, they live inside, oh, they live there, but.
Kaboyan my TikTok.
Betty, drive me so you go better
Aha, so the move. Boko.
Some company.
So, but before that, now you do here.
Yeah.
What that thing happened?
Yeah. So the company will break, where the water enter the company, so you carry everything come out.
Oh, okay.
So now with the power, you see the things they flow. Before people they come out the two way, somebody say money. Oh, before you go see, no, the guy carry the money, where the rest did the water tour. So we trace go Clago, so we go see him, but we not see the money.
Where the money did the water top?
It did the water
float.
It float. The dollars, bond.
Hey!
Shall I not be small money? I trace the money about. Shall I not see?
How you trace them?
Like we carry motor.
Go past the other side. And you guys say when we go get life jackets. Oh, okay.
So if you go there inside, then my wall break where the things all scatter. So myself, the only thing I pack is biscuit. One sack of biscuit.
So you get a biscuit?
I get a biscuit. You did the motorway body for this.
All right.
Hey, Charlie, I told you careful. Got to borrow no solo.
Oh, this is. Hey, now we're down more. No, I'm down now. Wow. And with you, what's it for? Nina, what's it with your channel? We're proud of your channel. Another one. Oh. Say the best in for the day, yeah? One say, I honey, yeah.
Hey, but that's a good deal. Hey, you're talking to no free. We're proud.
And this is my plight. I can't even cry, oh my people. I can't cry about this one. No, I can't cry about this one. There's something else. I can't even cry. Why? There's my house. Look at my mother. And my newborn baby. Oh yes. My newborn baby, oh look. My kids have a sense of humor like me. They are laughing too. The tenants are shouting. Can you hear them in the background? I'm going to tell you about this. Can you too? I can't. Hey, I cry. Wow. I cry. It's true. I cry. Hey, boy, yeah, boy. Come on, and it's another nego, mama. That's been another nego. It's saying a green ego. Baba, what's your pound? This is it. Why I cry. Clean your gutters. You not clean your gutters, including myself. Yes, swimming. Man, it's swimming. Swimming shoes. You want to see my kitchen? Me was even killing me yesterday. I did a sausage stew with spaghetti. Fresh and I am why? In she am small mommy. Oh mama means you. There's a quality boots and I'm one common. You people don't understand what's going on in the town. If I open my door right now, it's war film. Do you know war film? Come my living room. This is it. This is it. And you don't other phone. This is it. Why? This is it. Why? There's my end results of when Insure decides to carry you away. When your friend Insure the Oko. If you're the Oko boy. And you don't know for them. This is it, why? Oh wow. The work I have to do for the next 1 month, only God knows. Oh, my coach nice haircut, so yeah, my fine girl. Just said, but say I'm maybe swag, maybe her TV, and no pa. Maybe sing go back to your country, And a minute today, I'm in my country. Wow. Hey.
Maybe I can't do some big size down. Some this is the second. Oh, my brother. So sorry. Can't afford. Bye bye. Let me see that car. Ne kotemu. Question case after you say.
Oh my goodness, you can see how bad this has been. I mean, homes are submerged in the water. I'm heading towards to one of the homes here that have had their compound, you know, almost.
Alajo.
I mean, the rains this morning have been really serious. A lot of people are stuck at home. Cars are able to move. Homes are flooded. Shops are flooded as well. Here at Central Maria, from stretch from Tasmania to Soto, quite crazy.
Hello. Bas na aka enzu ne nkofo ehu akwaku jina soro no enya asem ketwa wa ha
Abigail menya me evidence
what my eyes see today
We have a total of 7,761 households that were displaced, with 38,802 individuals affected, with 7 persons still missing as at this morning, because, Mr. Speaker, I've been at the Finance Committee in the past 3 hours. I've not been able to read my briefs this afternoon. I don't know whether many more have been found, but 7 people as at this morning were displaced, and the total death are 12 individuals that we lost. Mr. Speaker, let me take this opportunity to send our condolences and that of government and the people of Ghana to the families that lost their family members, and we assure them we are with them in this difficult moment. We know many people could not be in their homes and even sleep in their homes, but government is doing whatever it can. Mr. Speaker, with your permission, I'll mention some information from Central Region that also happened last 2 weeks, which I have the details. In Central Region, Mr. Speaker, last 2 weeks, we had 58 houses that collapsed. And for those of us who are very familiar with Central Region and the kind of houses, because of the mud houses, some of them are the bricks, some of the houses were over 100 years old, but these were the districts and how they were affected. Cape Coast Metropolitan Assembly lost 20 houses, Gomoa East 2 houses, Gomoa West 1 house, AOB 2 houses, Aguna East 7 houses, Gomoa Central 1 house, Tufo Ahima Lower Dentra 6 houses, AAK.
All right, good morning. Good morning. Thank you very much for joining the show. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. The show is also live on 94.1 FM. My name is Aldo Moro, and it's always a pleasure to come your way. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning, regardless of the situation we find ourselves in. We're still alive and kicking, and so I want to say a big thanks to the Almighty God for making that possible. We also want to say a big thanks to the Almighty God for making sure that we turn here to join the nation's conversation on the big issues that are making the rounds in our dear country, Ghana. Today is the 1st of July, so the month of July has just started. It is our hope and prayer that this month brings you more joy, brings you more gladness, laughter than ever before. So happy new month to all of you watching us this morning. So I pray that God blesses you with good health, prosperity, and happiness, and may it bring you fresh opportunities and renewed energy. For some reason, the newspapers have struggled to come to the stands on time, and so uncharacteristic of us this morning, we will not be able to show the newspapers because we don't have them, but they'll be here in the next few minutes. And unfortunately, we don't know what the problem is. But so what I'll definitely do though is that I'll let you know what the online portals are reporting, and then as and when the newspapers come, and I'll show you some of the stories that the papers are reporting this morning. So I'll start with My Joy Online. It says that World Bank says Finance Ministry fiscal controls delayed Garrett project. You know, the Garrett project has come up quite vociferously as a result of the flooding which has engulfed us following the rains that poured. So we'll look at that as well. OMC's slash fuel prices as GOIL leads with petrol at 12.79 cities. Ghana received record 593.2 mm of rains in June, highest monthly rainfall in history according to Muntaka. And we woke up to the announcement to Gutak slums lack of consultation on utility tariff hike. The City Newsroom says no Ghanaian in custody at the South Africa protest. High Commissioner. Sustainable banking compliance rises to 73% as green finance agenda deepens. There's also some South Africans oppose closure of foreign-owned businesses amid protest. Accra floods, MOH ramps up surveillance of Earth disease outbreaks. We're not okay. Ghanaian laments South Africa migrant crackdown. If you go to Ghana Web, it says, let's not make the mistake of electing another 72-year-old president again, according to A+. I've not had an affair with any woman since 2017, Bishop Obinim. The rising flood crisis in Ghana and the urgent need to reinstate the YEA Zoom Lion contract. Renak's ex-wife sues for 10% share of Bill's microcredit profits since 2011. World Cup 2026, Dembele and Mbappe rewriting history. That's with Ghana Web today. Let me now check out what's on Metro TV Online. Afoko gets heavyweight backing as Dr. Amin Adam declares support. Afoko gets, Sam George inspects flood affected Ghana Digital Centers Limited. There's also Mbappe scores twice as France breeze past Sweden into last 16. Export or lose out. Afoko demands airport for Upper East region. And there's World Cup 2026. Haaland fires Norway into last 16 with win over Cote d'Ivoire. It was an interesting game. Now let's check out what the quote cards are saying today. So what are the quote cards saying? All right, so the quote cards are saying that Foreign Affairs Ministry issues South Africa travel alert amid planned protest, and that's with MetroTVOnline.com. And then you also have, what else we have? Jospon Chairman leads flood assessment tour across Accra's high-risk areas on behalf of Zoom Lion. That's with so there's also heavy rains expected to return from Thursday through Sunday, and according to GMET, which is Ghana Meteorological Agency. And in our authority, I'll check that out. I think the last time I checked was still an agency. President Mahama directs the release of 300 million cedis for urgent flood relief and mitigation. That's also MetroTVOnline.com. All right, so stay with us. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. My guests are already here. One of them is a regular. The other, I'll tell you who the person is. Stay with us.
And there they are. The squad is ready, lined up, ice cold, focused and prepared for national duty. Every bottle in position, every label shining with confidence. And here comes the selection. One bottle steps forward, picked from the squad, ready to deliver for Ghana. He takes the first sip. Oh yes, refreshingly hydrating. The whistle goes. The Black Stars are on the move. He breaks through the defense like flowing water. Beautiful control. He lines it up. He strikes. Goal! Ghana is awake. From the fridge to the field, Awake keeps you refreshed. Awake purified drinking water. One for life. Proudly supporting the National Cardiothoracic Center. This advert is FDA approved.
Are you a headmaster, headmistress, parent, teacher, or an educator looking for high-quality textbooks for preschool, primary, and junior high school students? Look no further than Advocate Publishing Company. Advocate Publishing Company is a leading publisher of educational materials in Ghana that publishes very engaging, interactive, and comprehensive textbooks that meet the needs of students, teachers, and parents. Our textbooks are thoroughly published to make learning fun and easy. They are also designed to stimulate critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity in students. Make Advocate Publishing your preferred choice for all your educational needs. Explore our range of textbooks and educational resources. Visit us at the old GNTC yard near Kingsway, Accra. You can contact us on 0503 786 776 or 02408 06354, also 0531 600360, and connect with us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at Advo Publishing. Don't settle for less. Choose the best. Advocate Publishing Company, empowering young minds one textbook at a time. Thinking publishing, think Advocate Publishing.
Finding my dream apartment in just 2 days was a breeze with 7terragh.com. Looking for your next home, the perfect piece of land, or the best commercial property for your business? Are you worried about sending money home for property and finding nothing when you return? Well, worry no more. 7terragh.com is just a platform to find prime lands, perfect properties, or vibrant real estate development at the click of a button. 7terragh.com is your go-to property listing platform that allows you to register, list, rent, buy or sell, and connect with correct agents. With our AI-powered smart search, personalized dashboards, verified agent connection, and interactive property maps, all your property needs have been made easier. Check us out on 7terragh.com or contact us on 0302 998 246 or 0561 032 252. 7terragh.com, powered by MNC Properties.
Mommy, good morning.
Good morning, my son. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Mom. How about you?
I'm fine.
Joe, I just saw your mom doing her usual morning routine. Like, it was just 2 weeks she underwent a major colon surgery.
Bro, see, my mom is doing perfectly fine, and we're all excited about it. It was minimally invasive surgery, and the recovery has been very fast.
Minimally? Hey! No, wait. What do you mean by that?
So they offered my mom a laparoscopic colon surgery. Laparoscopic colon surgery, which we accepted. It turned out it was equally safe with a very fast recovery time, and the cost involved too was very, very reasonable. She was discharged 3 days after the surgery, and you can see her, she's on her feet again.
3 days?
Just 3 days, bro.
Mean Tuber Hospital, first Ghana colorectal center, aimed to serve a peculiar health need.
Looking for comfort, convenience, and class all in one place? Welcome to Stay Easy Apartments on Conference Center, where modern living meets exceptional service. Whether you're staying for business or leisure, Stay Easy offers you a home away from home. Spacious and well-furnished apartments, pool, gym, and everything you need to relax and feel at ease. Planning a meeting, workshop, or special event? Our event ground and state-of-the-art conference center is designed to host your events and bring your vision to life. From corporate gatherings to private functions, we provide the perfect space, supported by modern equipment and a professional team ready to assist you. At Stay Easy, your comfort and success are our priority. Book your stay or reserve your space today. Call us 020-739-1473 or 0244-226367. Stay Easy Apartments and Conference Center. Stay easy with us.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, who be here, Semetra Sapapadia to a mammy man for Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients, and a bomb is so by a man swing, Nesanso Mama Hoto so a will beg you.
Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Choose Kel Charcoal Toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Today's class is going to be an exciting one. Now, who can share an unforgettable moment in their life? Okay, Asempa.
I'd like to talk about my first time. It was her natural look, complemented by her favorite green silky apparel that caught my attention. I have to say, she automatically possessed me with her smile, which exposed her beautiful white teeth. That's not all, her enduring signature perfume could be smelled from afar. Madam, why do you look so surprised? My first time with her was special and irresistible. I'm talking about Cindy Rice. Cindy Rice can be found in selected supermarkets nationwide.
Cindy Rice, sweet aroma, great taste. This advert is FDA approved.
From the rich soils of Ghana, our farmers grow the finest ingredients. We clean, hand select, and carefully craft into bold, unforgettable flavors. And when you open our little bag of big taste, it's pure, bold, unforgettable flavor bursting in every bite. Enjoy the goodness, made with big care. This advert is FDA approved.
My new girl is coming over today, and I have to give her a treat of my life.
Hi. Hey.
Good afternoon. How are you doing? Fine. I got you a paint. This is Easy Waterproof Paint, the best ever solution for all sort of leakages. I got it for you.
Thank you. Easy Waterproof Paint can be used on any surface, being it cement, blocks, roofing sheets, swimming pools, and more. It can also be used as primer before you apply any paint to help provide extra protection.
Easy Waterproof Paint. No more leakages.
we have a total of 7,761 households that were displaced, with 38,802 individuals affected, with 7 persons still missing as at this morning. Because, Mr. Speaker, I've been at the Finance Committee in the past 3 hours. I've not been able to read my briefs this afternoon. I don't know whether many more have been found, but 7 people as at this morning were displaced, and the total death are 12 individuals that we lost. Mr. Speaker, let me take this opportunity to send our condolences and that of government and the people of Ghana to the families that lost their family members, and we assure them we are with them in this difficult moment. We know many people could not be in their homes and even sleep in their homes, but government is doing whatever it can. Mr. Speaker, with your permission, I'll mention some information from Central Region that also happened last 2 weeks, which I have the details. In Central Region, Mr. Speaker, last 2 weeks, we had 58 houses that collapsed. And for those of us who are very familiar with Central Region and the kind of houses, because of the mud houses, some of them are the bricks, some of the houses were over 100 years old, but these were the districts and how they were affected. Cape Coast Metropolitan Assembly lost 20 houses, Gomoa East 2 houses, Gomoa West 1 house, AOB 2 houses, Aguna East 7 houses, Gomoa Central 1 house, Tufu Ahima Lower Dentra 6 houses, AAK 4 houses, Mfansiman 5 houses, Asin South 1 house, Asin North 7 houses, Efutu 2 houses. And Mr. Speaker, unfortunately, there too we lost 18 individuals as per the report that was.
All right, so you're watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. The show is live on 94.1 FM. That's on your radio dial. Let me say that the show is brought to you by Metro Digital. Also, partly associated with the show is AH Cafe. Sumptuous meals at affordable prices right here on our premises. Pass by and have a taste of some of their wonderful, fantastic meals that they serve here. AH Cafe, sorry, I wanted to say hotel. AH Cafe is right here, and that's where we all eat. We do have lunch, we have dinner, and sometimes we do breakfast, but it's just, you know, it's fantastic. Just come try it and thank me later. I'll share their contact with you in case you want to order. You want to take out, you don't want to dine in. I'll share some contacts with you shortly. But my guests are here, and we'll kickstart a conversation. I'm sure that your guest is as good as mine. It's a big topic for perhaps the week is out about Accra's flooding. It's not entirely new. I mean, we've been seeing this for decades. Somehow, we've still not been able to figure out how to deal with the flooding situation which has hit us, and it keeps hitting us so badly. Now, Mr. Kwesi Pratt Jr. this morning has joined us. He is a former managing editor of the Insight newspaper, a seasoned and a veteran journalist who has taken time off his very busy schedule to join us. We're grateful, sir. Thank you. Thank you so very much for joining us. Good morning. And also joining us this morning is a man whom I can, equally call a senior citizen. He's also, well, from time to time, if he has some time to spare, he joins us on the show. We're grateful. He's MPP National Organizer hopeful and also former MP for the Tema East constituency, a former Greater Accra Regional Minister, and also a former boss at Valco. He's a man of many formats. I don't want to go, he's a tallest. That's why he's more than qualified to become the National Organizer of the MPP, of course, among other reasons. He's here with us. Good morning, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. And that said, maybe I should start calling him Doctor, or GTech will come after me. Well, what maintain Daniel? Daniel. He hasn't told me to call him a doctor. I was going to confer that on him. Daniel Ni Kwate Titus Glover. Good morning, boss. Good to see you. How are you, boss?
I'm doing well.
And, I'm doing very well. How's the family? Everybody cool. Fine. Okay. I don't know how you feel. You've lived in this country for many years, for decades, and it appears that we are genuinely struggling to deal with this flooding problem. Government go, government come, this flooding problem happens. Of course, we can have conversations about which government recorded more floods. For me, that's not important. Thing is, the flooding thing keeps coming every year. Of course, this year it appears it's been worse. I'm sure the president himself has talked about it. Now, yesterday, the Interior Minister was in Parliament to update Ghanaians on what has happened and the measures that have been taken by the government to deal or to contain the situation. So, Daily Graphic Online says June 2026 records highest rainfall in Ghana's history. Muntaka tells Parliament President Mahama has authorized the release of 350 million from contingency fund. Now, it says the Minister for the Interior, Muntaka Mubarak Mohammed, has told Parliament that June 2026 has recorded the highest monthly rainfall in Ghana's history, with a downpour claiming lives and displacing nearly 39,000 people across the Greater Accra region. 39,000, that's quite a lot. Speaking on the floor of Parliament on Tuesday, June 30, 2026, Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak, the government has deployed military engineers to support flood response efforts and approve the release of money from the contingency fund for relief and flood control measures. He said data from the Ghana Meteorological Agency showed Ghana has received 593.2 millimeters of rainfall in June this year alone. That's 2026. He said the figure surpassed the previous record of 420.6 millimeters set in 2002 and 380.3 millimeters recorded in 2015. He adds that the rainfall recorded on Monday, June 29, 2026, measured 169.2 millimeters, making it the fourth highest daily rainfall recorded since 1995. I was in senior high then. The minister said 18 metropolitan municipal industrial assemblies in the Greater Accra region, including Ga East, Lejokuku, Ayawaso Central, Kole, Klote, Tema West and Tema Metropolitan were affected by Monday's rains. According to him, the floods displaced 7,761 households, and this is what we can account for. Those we can't account for, only God knows what happened to them, affecting 38,802 people. He said 12 deaths have been confirmed, while 7 people were still missing as of Tuesday morning. Muntaka said 18 people had also died in the central region over the past 2 weeks after 58 houses collapsed in districts including Cape Coast Metropolitan, Agona East and Asin North. He explains that many of the affected buildings were old mud or brick structures, some more than 100 years old. He asked the flooding had disrupted activities in more than 60 communities in the Volta region, although the situation was not life-threatening. And even though the spokesperson for the presidency had announced in a press statement that President Mahama had directed immediate release of 300 million cedis for food relief and mitigation, the Minister for the Interior, Muntaka Mubarak, told Parliament on Tuesday that money President Mahama has authorized for release was 350 million from the contingency fund. So we need to get to the bottom of this. We need to get some clarity. Is it 300 or 350? Because when you look at the press release by the presidency, which was signed by Felix Ofosu-Kwakye, who is the Minister for Government Communication and spokesperson for the president, it mentions 300 million. In fact, we'll put up that statement shortly. But let me come back in-house and get a thought of my guests who are here to help us review what the papers and the online portals are talking about. But in a related development, you know, many years ago, far back as in 2019, the government of the day were in talks with the World Bank to help us deal with this flooding problem. The World Bank advanced some money to us to deal with the problem, and up to now we haven't been able to deal with it. And now we're having conversations about how much was spent, how much was not spent, how come the project has delayed. It's called a Garrick project, and I'll tell you a bit more in that story. He says the World Bank has blamed fiscal controls introduced by the Ministry of Finance for significantly delaying implementation of the Greater Accra Resilient and Integrated Development Garrick project, one of the country's flagship programs aimed at tackling chronic flooding in the country. Now, in its latest implementation update released in May 2026, the bank downgraded the project's implementation performance to moderately unsatisfactory, citing persistent funding constraints despite the project remaining fully financed. The implementation of the Garrick has significantly constrained by fiscal measures introduced by the Ministry of Finance during 2025. The report said the findings have taken on added significance following the devastating floods of June 29, which killed at least 12 people, and renewed attention on Accra's long-standing drainage and flood management challenges. The 350 million Garrick project supports Ghana efforts to strengthen flood risk management, improve solid waste management, and enhance urban resilience across selected metropolitan and municipal assemblies within the Greater Accra region. The program covers 5 major components, including drainage, flood risk, infrastructure, solid waste management, urban upgrading, institutional coordination, project management, and emergency response. According to the World Bank, progress on the ground has lagged well behind planning. So even so, the bank said progress toward the project's overall development objectives remains broadly aligned with expectations. Uncle C, I know it gets tiring, because even on this platform, we've talked about this flooding thing for many years. But like we say, how for do? What aren't we getting right?
Well, I think we are not getting the whole frame right. You understand? I'll come to that.
Okay.
But I've seen very disturbing scenes, harrowing scenes, you know, of people's experiences and so on, and it's deeply worrying. One of the things that I saw was a video in which a guy who apparently slept in his kiosk, you know, is in the kiosk, and the kiosk is being carried away by the flood. And he's in the kiosk and he's shouting for help. And who can help? Who can go into this, you know, this water which is moving at remarkable speed and take this guy out of the kiosk? That's horrifying. That's terrifying. That's one. And I've seen a family, you know, who, when the rain started, decided not to get out of their rooms. They thought that they were protected if they stayed indoors. And so that was also some of the official advice that we had. And the next door house, you know, simply crumbles and it lets in water. And water gets into their house and it's at the window level. And there's no way of coming out, you understand? There are no boats to evacuate them and so on. Extremely harrowing experience. I've seen passengers on a bus, you know, and when the thing is getting critical, they all manage to get to the roof of the bus. But the water is building and it's getting to them. And there's no help coming from anywhere, you know. And so many such scenes, you know, complete families stranded and so on. Now, what is the cause of this? And the cause is multiple. There are multiple causes for this. You see, the very land tenure system is a problem. Who decides which house should be sold for residential accommodation, which house should not be sold, and so on? That's a major problem in this crisis. If you leave land acquisition in the hands of persons and authorities who have no knowledge of planning, who have no knowledge of engineering and so on, all they want is to make some money. You understand?
Right.
So they will sell every and any land. So the land tenure system itself comes into question when we begin to look at the consequences of this flooding and so on. Then, of course, there is the question of land administration and planning and engineering and so on. And there have been many cases of people who built in waterways. Some actually authorized to build huge mansions in waterways, and there are many examples and so on. That is part of the problem. And indeed, the other part of the problem are stories of people who actually fill in, you know, lakes and so on, which are meant to take water in situations like this, fill lakes with concrete and build structures on them and so on. There's the question of law enforcement, you know, and so on. And then some people have raised the question of discipline. People pouring rubbish into gutters and so on. My problem with that kind of talk is simply that they are not talking on the basis of empirical evidence.
Right.
Seeing 5, 10 people pouring rubbish into gutters, and that becomes the reason, you know, why we are where we are. How much rubbish is dumped into gutters? How much? You understand? How does that affect, you know, flooding and so on? I don't see any empirical study. All I see are anecdotes and so on, which simply in situations like this are not very helpful, for us. Truth of the matter is that hundreds of thousands of people have been affected by this flooding. Hundreds of thousands of people. And I know that this is not the first time. I recall in the late 1970s, there was a similar flooding. And the politicians at that time, revolutionary politicians at that time, went to visit the affected people in canoes and so on, wearing Wellington boots and diving suits and so on. It didn't solve the problem. I remember the flooding that led to the huge fire outbreak around Kwame Nkrumah Circle and the consequences and so on, huge consequences, for all of us. The authorities were not able to resolve the problem then. Of course, we know about flooding in many parts of the country. In the lower, Akosombo area, only a couple of years ago, we saw massive flooding, which led to very, very terrible consequences for all of us. We've seen flooding in the Tono area directly as a result of the spillage of water from a dam in Burkina Faso and so on. So flooding has been with us for a very, very long time. Now, this morning, you have read a story which says that the World Bank is not happy about the implementation of a measure for which we secured, funding. And the rate of implementation is described almost as lackluster, very, very low level of implementation. So this is a problem which has been with us. If we trace the performance of the various governments we've had over the last 13 years or more, all of the performance has been most abysmal. The Odo River, the Odo is supposed to take in a lot of the water which gets spilled and which causes all of these troubles and fires and so on. There has been plans for distilling the Odo and making it a waterway, for urban transportation and so on. These plans have existed for more than 50 years. They've never been implemented. So part of the reason why we have this is the lack of commitment, by various governments to resolve the problem. And we have the problem now. Now, yesterday we were told that the president has directed that 350 million cedis should be released for emergency relief from the contingency fund. Now, this one I was trying to do the mathematics, and dependent on the numbers that you use. In fact, if you're most generous, per capita, people will be receiving 3,000 cedis.
Yeah.
That doesn't solve any problem. And you have people whose whole lives have been destroyed. Nothing is left, apart from their ability to breathe and eat. There's nothing left. Their dwellings have been destroyed. Their furniture is gone. Schools have been washed away and so on. So if you come to think of 3,000 cedis per capita, that's being very generous. It doesn't resolve any problem. On the other hand, government is constrained because resources available to government are not unlimited. And if all we can do is to give 3,000 cedis, per capita, I don't think that the problem is resolved yet. There are a few things that I've observed which are not really substantial, but the cosmetic value is also very important. Yesterday or 2 days ago, the president decided to go on a helicopter trip around the flooded areas to assess the damage, Now, I know the president to be a historian and a journalist, His trip is not likely to produce a scientific outcome. This helicopter trip is not likely to produce a scientific outcome for the problems that the people of this country are confronted with. It shows some empathy with the people who are affected and so on, but I would have thought that even that would have been better displayed if it was walking on the ground, touching people, getting into affected homes, lifting babies and so on. The empathy would have been better expressed than flying around the flooded city in a helicopter. But that is what perhaps his advisors, put before him. And he did it, I don't think that the aesthetics are good enough. In a situation where you have this massive flooding and your leaders are in helicopters flying over you, the aesthetics are not very good, But then that has been done. At least it shows some level of concern, even though the aesthetics do not appear to be excellent. You understand? Now, where we are, I think it's time for us to go back to the drawing board.
Or perhaps, Kwesi, he would have done both. Get an aerial view, which is a bird's eye view of the situation. It's you would appreciate the situation much more if you are in the air, and then come down and then interact with the people.
Well, I have no objection to that.
Yeah.
I have no objection to that. But the aesthetics,
I understand.
Didn't look very good.
The optics.
Yeah, the aesthetics didn't look very good. But I agree with you. I mean, both could have been done.
Yes.
But it's now time for us to come back, to take a few steps back and to review the entire national life. Not aspects of it, entire national life. Review the prevailing land tenure system. Review engineering with regards to urban settlement development. What are the codes, our building codes? Are we still building houses on concrete floors? We go to some houses and all the space around the houses are concrete, sometimes even tiled. So the ability to soak water is completely removed. Are we still going to approve building codes which allow this to happen? That's one. Are we still, building houses without rain harvesting systems? And I know that in the colonial era, rain harvesting systems were part of the building code. You understand? Why have we abandoned that? Why are we not harvesting rains and so on? And you see, this comes from the fact that all of this rain which is pouring into the sea and killing people and making people homeless and so on is valuable. Water is so valuable. This is water you need for irrigation. This is water you need for fish farming. This is water you need for promoting healthy livelihoods and so on. And all of that has now become a problem. You understand? In some parts of the world, people are struggling for, small quantities of water, and they can't get. They're being hit by drought. Tehran in Iran, for example, has been hit by drought for close to 3 years. Now we have the water, and it has become a problem for us.
Yeah.
How come the water, which is so essential for life, has been allowed to become a problem for us? That's something that we have to, rethink, Should housing be entirely, an activity for profit, for monetary profit? I'm not talking about social profit. Should housing be an activity just for monetary profit? That's the question we have to ask. That's a question we have to answer. In the light of these developments, shouldn't the state be interested in building appropriate housing in this kind of situation and so on? Then there's a whole topography of not just Accra, but Accra and the surrounding areas. We do know, for example, that Accra is surrounded by very huge mountains and hills and so on. And the runoff, from the Okrapin Mountains and so on, all pours down to Accra.
Yeah.
How do we manage that? You understand? How do we manage that? That's a real problem. How do we manage that? We know of the regulations which say that flowing water, like rivers and so on, people should not engage in commercial activities some distance to the waterbed? Are we observing that? If we are not observing that, why are we not observing that? And so on. So there are a whole lot of questions. Now, what kind of roads are we constructing? What kind of bridges are we building? There's one particular place in Accra, you know, from Christian Village towards Domi, there's a bridge there. I'm not an engineer, okay? I'm not a planner. My brother, if you go there and you see the bridge is so low. You don't have to be an engineer to see that this bridge would have problems. The bridge is so low. So traffic actually, you know, flows this way, and the bridge is low, and then it rises again. Anytime it rains, no vehicle can go over the bridge. You know, and that's a problem with engineering. That is not because people are throwing garbage into the water. It's a problem with it's an engineering problem. How did we construct a bridge so low, you know, that every time it rains, you know, it gets flooded and vehicles cannot move and so on? That's a problem, you understand? So it's a very complicated problem. There are no easy solutions. It does not take one discipline to address the hydra-headed problems which have emerged as a result of this, you know, and so on. Now, the other thing is, what do we do with the work of institutions like the meteorological organizations? Because as far as I know, this rain was predicted months before it happened.
Yes.
You know, the Meteorological Services Authority warned us that this year...
They went beyond warning us to actually suggest things that we should do to mitigate the effects of the heavy downpour.
Well, thank you very much. You are only adding to what I'm saying, you know. So we knew that we're going to face these problems perhaps months, or maybe even a few years earlier. So what do we do with the reports that the experts give us about our future, you know? I know as a fact that Accra is earthquake prone. The Geological Survey Department then, as it was, had been warning us for well over 30 years. You know, one of the first stories I did as a journalist on the Ghanaian Times was a report from the Geological Survey Department about the possible impact of earthquakes on us and how it is possible that we are going to experience a major earthquake very soon. What have we done with that report? There are all kinds of seismic reports, you know, from qualified people and so on. What have we done with it? There's even a question of what kind of education do we give our people? You understand? How many seismic engineers are we training? And how are we deploying them? There's now a category of science which is known as earthquake engineering. How many earthquake engineers have we trained? How are we deploying them? How many of them do we have in our whole system and so on? So all of these problems come up. You know, it's a huge problem with many dimensions. Unfortunately for us, many of those who are in public life are taken in by the cosmetics. You understand? The cosmetics are more important to them than substance. So the rain comes, there's a lot of flood, people die, houses are broken down and so on. And what is their concern? How to demonstrate that they sympathize with the people. So they buy a few bags of rice, they wear Wellington boots, they stand in the rain, they touch a few babies and so on. And it's end of the matter. That's where their concern ends. You understand? That's where their concern ends. And then sometimes they make flamboyant speeches, you know, flamboyant speeches that they themselves do not take serious. And they think that the matter has come to an end. We are living in a world in which the elements are at war. The elements, they are at war. And the war of the elements produces disasters and catastrophes. We've got to be able to tame the elements. And it's a scientific thing. it's science. You have to develop your science to cope with the struggle of the elements. You understand? One of the problems we've been having over this long period of time is the question of the tide, the wave, what do you call it? The sea tides, isn't it?
Yes.
It's created enormous problems around Keita and so on. And then we came up with this very simple solution of sea defense projects.
The tidal waves is what you're talking
about. Tidal waves, yes. So we come up with the idea of sea defense walls. Now we know that we build a sea defense wall in one area and the tide moves to another area. It's not a solution. It provides temporary relief for those immediately affected, but can create problems for others who are not immediately affected and so on. So we need to have a holistic view of the problem and to find holistic solutions. And that involves direct, and I mean direct state involvement in all aspects of our life.
Okay.
Some of these things cannot be left to private capital. Private capital is not interested in ensuring that there's no flooding in Accra. You understand?
All right.
What is the return, on stopping flooding in Accra and so on? So perhaps the time has come for us to look very seriously at direct involvement of the state in planning and the execution of plans for human habitation and so on.
Okay. All right. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we would get the thoughts of Mr. Titus Glover, Honorable Titus Glover, on this matter as well, because I don't want to interrupt him when it starts, just like we didn't interrupt Mr. Kwesi Pratt with any commercial break, so we just want to be fair. So, Lupa, small break, and then we'll come back to you. Stay with us. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro TV.
And there they are. The squad is ready, lined up, ice cold, focused and prepared for national duty. Every bottle in position, every label shining with confidence. And here comes the selection. One bottle steps forward, picked from the squad, ready to deliver for Ghana. He takes the first sip. Oh yes, refreshingly hydrating. In this it goes. The Black Stars are on the move. He breaks through the defense like flowing water. Beautiful control. He lines it up. He strikes. Goal! Ghana is awake. From the fridge to the field, Awake keeps you refreshed. Awake purified drinking water. One for life. Proudly supporting the National Cardiothoracic Center. This advert is FDA approved.
Are you a headmaster, headmistress, parent, teacher, or an educator looking for high-quality textbooks for preschool, primary, and junior high school students? Look no further than Advocate Publishing Company. Advocate Publishing Company is a leading publisher of educational materials in Ghana that publishes very engaging, interactive, and comprehensive textbooks that meet the needs of students, teachers, and parents. Our textbooks are thoroughly published to make learning fun and easy. They are also designed to stimulate critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity in students. Make Advocate Publishing your preferred choice for all your educational needs. Explore our range of textbooks and educational resources. Visit us at the old GNTC yard near Kingsway, Accra. You can contact us on 0503 786 776 or 02408 06354, also 0531 600360, and connect with us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at Advo Publishing. Don't settle for less. Choose the best. Advocate Publishing Company, empowering young minds one textbook at a time. Thinking publishing, think Advocate Publishing.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kel Kids Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky whiter, chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kel Kids, happy smile.
From the day you were born here in this place, you belong.
Score your dreamland with us this World Cup season.
We guarantee genuine lands because Ghana deserves nothing less.
The future is secure when you invest with Estate Masters.
At Estate Masters, we make every transaction smooth, transparent, tailored to you.
From Kaswa to every corner of Ghana, we are here for you.
Strengths are people, just like the Black Stars.
Together, we win on the pitch and in building homes for Ghanaians.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson, Asamo.
Me didn't tum. Mr. Friend, Calico, just call me cockroach. Now, Mr. Friend, me once now.
Hey, that's you.
Improve car.
Yeah.
Captain was key to double the action. Me did this sasso spray. Mr. Friend is sasso quell. Yeah, go to my sasso.
Come on, Tom Preko.
Ghana for the second World Cup running, the only Africans left standing.
What's getting a number of good ones? We could take close to 200 doctors. Oh, Pias and Nampi. Challenge today, the jackpot day. We dare live.
He's in the area. He's gone.
Oh,
It's the Lucky World Cup Sikapuduo promo. Every 11th June, Kosi 31st July 2026. Play and win your share of the 1 million Ghana City jackpot with a minimum stake of just 10 Ghana Cities. 20 lucky customers go win their share of the 20,000 Ghana Cities daily jackpot. Top 10 agents go chop bonus every weekend. Trying to Lucky app, Lucky website, agent to an dial *288#. Lucky World Cup Sikapuduo. Kitty one the dickers, yeah.
Auntie, one man no chopo. Blow beyond your mame.
Terms and conditions apply. Play responsibly. Not for persons under 18. Licensed and regulated by the NLA.
Lucky. Play small, win big.
The world's biggest football festival is here, and Ghana is watching together. This June, the Ghana TV Consortium brings you the FIFA World Cup 2026 live and free to air on GTV, Joy Prime, GTV Sports Plus, Adum TV, Wezo TV, Metro TV, UTV, Original TV, Garden City TV, Obono TV, GH1 TV, Ago TV, Onya TV, TV3, Max TV, and Sporty TV. 3 host countries, 48 teams, 1 unforgettable tournament. Follow every moment of the Ghana Black Stars journey, every rivalry, every goal, and every celebration. Enjoy crystal clear high-definition broadcast with expert local analysis and the passion only Ghanaian broadcasters can deliver. From the opening whistle to the crowning of champions, your football home is right here. The FIFA World Cup 2026. One nation, one consortium. Ghana TV Consortium, bringing you the best of the World Cup. Brought to you by SportyBet, Star Oil, MTN, Pepsodent, Kivo, Polytech, Lavance tomato mix, and Heaven insecticide spray.
I still don't drink water.
You don't drink water, benefit.
No flood. No flood in Choco.
See my house, nothing. There's no problem. There's no problem.
No
this is Choco
flood.
for you.
Choco
no
for
flood.
you. Check the environment.
See the road. Everyone can move freely.
Everywhere
you can
clean.
walk. You can drink.
Can't get you in Choco. You
say Choco is no good. Choco is no good.
Choco for you.
Choco for you. Choco sleep fast.
No flood.
No flood.
No flood in Choco.
See my house. See my house, nothing. There's no problem. There's no problem.
No
this is Choco
flood.
for you.
Choco
no
for
flood.
you. Check the environment.
See the road. Everyone can move freely.
Everywhere
you can
clean.
walk. You can drink.
Can't get you in Choco.
You say Choco is no good. Choco is no good.
Choco for
Choco
you.
for you. Choco sleep fast.
No flood.
No flood.
No flood in Choco.
See my house. See my house, nothing.
This is the minorities' position in respect to the happenings in our country. Ghanaians woke up yesterday to scenes that have become tragically familiar under this administration. Major parts of our national capital submerged, homes destroyed, livelihood washed away, and citizens stranded in the very city that houses the seat of government. This is not an isolated weather event. It is the predictable consequence of a government that talks about preparedness while doing nothing to deliver it. Today, we find ourselves a nation in mourning. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, before anything else is said, we must pause. Behind every flooded street and every submerged home is a family whose world has been upended overnight. Tonight, somewhere in this city, a mother is sitting by a hospital bed, holding the hand of a child she nearly lost. Tonight, somewhere else, a husband is searching for a wife who has not come home. Somewhere, a father is standing in the wreckage of a shop he built with his own two hands over 20 years, watching everything he worked for float away in brown water. These are not statistics. These are our people. Ghana is still counting on its losses, and we fear that what we know today is only a fraction of what we still come to learn in the days ahead. To the families who have lost loved ones, to those keeping vigil beside hospital beds, not knowing whether their relatives will recover, to the traders and artisans and ordinary working Ghanaians who have lost everything they spent a lifetime building, we, the MPP minority, feel your pain. We are your neighbors, your relatives, your constituent too, and your grief is our grief. We hold you in our prayers tonight and in the days to come. But our compassion does not end with words of comfort. We make this solemn promise to every Ghanaian touched by this tragedy. We, the mighty minority, will use every tool of accountability available to us, both within this house and beyond it, to ensure that those whose negligence contributed to this disaster answer for it. Your losses deserve more than sympathy. It deserves justice, and the minority will not rest until you have it. Now, let me go back to the task force that existed on paper and on paper alone. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, last year, His Excellency, the President, announced the establishment of an anti-flood task force, specifically charged with preparing the capital for the rainy season, chaired by his Deputy Chief of Staff in charge of operations, Mr. Stan Jose Dogwe. The public was assured that lessons had been learned and that the year would be different. Yesterday's flooding is the clearest evidence that this task force produced no meaningful intervention on the ground. If serious drainage works, the silting or flood mitigation infrastructure had been undertaken, the impact of the rains, however heavy, would have been measurably reduced. Instead, entire neighborhoods went underwater, exposing the gap between government rhetoric and government delivery. Now we see a pattern, not an accident. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, this was not the first flooding incident of the year. Weeks earlier, significant parts of Accra were already inundated at a time when the president was out of the country on an official visit that took him through the United Kingdom and Belarus. On his return, rather than point to work already completed by the task force, the president called for a fresh presentation and mapping of affected areas. The government that had genuinely prepared for the rains would not need to commission a new assessment after the damage had already been done. The need for an after-the-fact presentation is itself an admission that no adequate plan existed beforehand. Sanitation policy without a plan. We note that this government has announced a sanitation policy without a plan. Compounding the crisis is the government's decision not to renew waste management contracts with some contractors, following concerns raised about the term of these contracts. The minority does not dispute that public purse must be protected from poorly structured agreements. However, terminating or declining to renew a major waste collection arrangement without first putting in place credible alternatives has consequences. In the resulting vacuum, informal and unregulated waste collectors, commonly referred to as aboboya operators, have proliferated. There is documented video evidence of such operators dumping refuse directly into gutters and drains. Blocked drainage systems are a direct and significant.
All right, so that's the minorities press conference that it organized yesterday. Daniel Nitaitos, Nikwate Titus Global is still here with us, a former MP and also national organizer of the NPP. Hopefully, is also here with us. So yesterday, the minority held a news conference. In fact, it's been captured in today's Daily Guide and some of the other papers as well. I'm not sure that you're here. You reiterate some of the things that the minorities said. So, what are also your thoughts, Muruba, on this matter?
Good morning to your viewers, my big brother, mentor, friend, yourself, and your technical team. I will associate myself, just like we said earlier, with all those families who have lost their loved ones and empathize with those properties that have been destroyed out of these floods. But before I add my voice to the flood, there are two points that I want to share. I'm seeing on social media that yesterday the president was in Tema, a land that belonged to VACO some time ago is now going to be used as an industrial park. When I was the CEO of VACO, when I took over on the 1st of August, that land has expired. The leasehold of 60 years have expired. So TDC was demanding over 800 million cedis to renew that leasehold for the next 60 years. But at the time, VACO hasn't got the money. So they made an application to President Nando so that they can reduce that figure. At that time, my predecessor, Dana Chamba, was then the CEO of VACO. So when the response came, I was in the chair. A letter signed by Radio 2 that has really dwindled the 800 million to close to about a little over 100 million, which was quite reasonable. But raising that money was also a challenge. And because VACO was going through a lot of problems in terms of equipment, money to buy raw materials and all that, I met my board. I said, look, we have this land there. And because the leasehold has expired, we need to renew. We don't have the money to. If the board can constitute a team so that we can look for a good price, dispose between 100 to 120 acres of the land. It's an industrial plot. So that we can raise between $300 million to $350 million. One, pay for the renewal, because the letter that came from the president was to renew for the next 50 years. We can pay off the leasehold and secure the land in the name of VACO. Then critically invest. For example, we're trying to connect a gas pipeline from Sentu, which is a very close door, to the boiler house, the carbon bake, then to the cell lines. We re-equip equipment all over the place. And to my disappointment, my board did not see what I'm saying. They didn't agree with me. Today the land is gone. The land is totally gone. VACO does not own that land anymore. So I feel so sorry that the idea initiative that I brought could not have the support of my board. And Dr. Henry Benya, he was the board chairman at the time. And this is the price that they pay for not supporting that cause. Because if they, as we speak now, VACO is struggling to get an investor to come invest in the plant. We will have done this coup and gradually raise the plant.
What was the board's basis for disagreeing with this policy initiative?
I remember at the meeting, what they said was that we should recouch my proposal. In fact, I don't want to mention them. At the board, about 7 people, they agreed. 5 agreed. The 6th person said no, they have to go back and recouch the whole proposal as to how we want to dispose. And because we give them detail of the breakdown as to how we want to invest the money in these critical areas of the plant and all that. So I tasked my deputy at the time, Abwaji Jidu, and the finance director to look at it. We went back and we didn't agree until I left.
Me has raised a very important question. And I'm wondering if we will discuss it. You understand?
Right.
Because what he has raised is a very important question.
The VACO issue.
The VACO issue is very, very important. You see, there's no way VACO on its own can survive without an integrated aluminium industry. And the land which was made available to VACO, under the Nkrumah government, was made available to VACO in anticipation of the development of the entire integrated aluminium industry. Why should we dispose of the land? Why? Are we abandoning the idea of a fully integrated aluminium industry? Are we abandoning that? And if we abandon that, what are the consequences for the future of the national economy? The other problem which arises is that TDC claims that some agreement tenure has expired and needs to be reviewed. TDC is not a private entity. It's a government entity. VACO is a government entity. So why does that become a problem for us? Why can't we look at the overall national interest in dealing with the question of VACO lands? Why do we have to sell VACO land, state institutions sell VACO land, make money, and hand it over to another state institution in order to preserve a huge dream which has the capacity for transforming the Ghanaian economy? It doesn't make sense. In much the same way, government institutions in ports, they come to the ports and accumulate demurrage and so on. Government institutions. Because government cannot pay government, things rot at the port. Things are auctioned at the port for next to nothing. Does it make sense? Martha, does it make sense?
No, it doesn't.
So the idea of an integrated aluminum industry, has it been abandoned? This so-called industrial park, how does that promote an integrated aluminum industry for Ghana, which is so crucial for our development, so crucial for value addition in the extraction of bauxite and so on? I can't understand. Sometimes I wonder how people will put in responsible positions and so on, make decisions about this country. I just wonder, how do they make decisions? What are they looking at? How can you treat Valco as an island on its own, treat TDC as an island, treat the Ministry of Finance as another island, and so on? Why can't we see how all of these are connected and how they ought to promote the national interest? I can't believe it.
You see, thank you for the intervention.
Master, can you believe it? That this is how we run Ghana. This is how we have been running Ghana since 1966. Is there any wonder why we are in this crisis?
Thank you for the intervention. But actually, that land, you see, was meant for the processing of the bauxite into alumina. But Kaiser itself, because he has a sister plant in Jamaica, does the processing of the bauxite and brings the alumina to Tema. So they left the land fallow for over 60 years. So that is what has really happened.
Couldn't we correct this situation?
We could have.
When we are talking about value addition, what does it mean?
So that was why Nanado's government tried to bring the integrated aluminium itself to Giadeke. That was the concept, how we could really do the integration very well in the value chain and all that. Then I never had the opportunity to speak on this matter, where the NDC regional chairman in the Central Region and the MCE went to lock up a radio station in Kaswa. I was totally alarmed that a whole chairman can move into Metro TV because they are being criticized. I was alarmed where you can get to that level, because when NDC was in opposition, they have every opportunity and say all kinds of things that they want. But for a regional chairman can lock a radio station and put the key in his pocket. Hey, then Ghana, what we've got into, it's a problem. So I feel like sharing this thing because I was really not comfortable when these things were happening. They come to the substantive matter for this flooding. I saw on your screen where a little child even taken out because the whole room is being flooded on the rooftop of a kiosk or something. I saw dead bodies all over. Even Tema, a lady was sitting on the drain, and the wooden, what they call it, the cover just broke, and she entered into the drain, and we've not even seen the woman as of today. She's gone. A lot of things have been destroyed. I remember on the 3rd of June, 2015, when this flood came, it cost almost 159 people's death. And President Mama at the time had a committee chaired by the respected Appeal Court Judge, Justice Isaac Delali Dose, to look at the cause of the flooding and make some recommendations. And President Mama, this is his 6th term in office as president. So with that experience of Justice Doche's committee's report,
6 years in office.
6 years in office, because 4 years and 2 years, he's in the second year. And get 6 years in office. So he has some practical knowledge and experience when it comes to these flooding issues and all that. And I remember when he attacked President Akufo-Addo for his insensitivity and the lack of comprehensive flood management program to deal with the floods in Accra. He accused President Akufo-Addo and all that. Today, what has changed? Because having got the background of what happened on the June 3rd, last year there was rain. I thought that he could have moved straight into action. And lo and behold, he gave us a committee chaired by his deputy chief of staff. We haven't seen anything. We have not seen anything. And clearly, it tells me that we should move more into action than normal talk. As we all do, oh, let's come empathize with the people. Like Kwesi said, go and share some mattresses, Nadbu people, share food, blah, 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 blah. Now he said what? He's arranging between 300 and 350 million to be given to the victims of these floods. You see, Moro, I want to blame the president for one or two reasons. One, this money that he said what they should give to the victims. You see, when the metro people started giving alarm of the extent of this rain that is coming, how has been our preparedness? The desilting and dredging of these streams and these big drains and all these things. Monies were not coming. This money that has been going to be used to support victims, if this money has been released to the Ministry of Works and House, the Hydro Department, they will have started desilting, dredging some of these drains. Last week, I saw one of my chiefs, Lafa Manche, the Nokufo Bo, use his own pocket money around the Malam area, the Lafa River, went to rent a backhoe to desilt. So, these monies that are going to give to the people, why didn't you earlier on give? So we begin to desilt all these drains because they are all filled with sand. So the little downpour, the whole place is flooded. So that is misplaced priority. That is the way I see it. Number two, the attitude of our people. We see he's saying that scientifically.
Before you talk about the attitude of our people, with regards to the first point that you made, I mean, I'm sure you've heard the Interior Minister,
that
Muntaka Mubarak, he granted an interview to one of the media houses here in Accra, and he says that no drainage infrastructure could have prevented Monday's devastating floods in Accra. He's insisting that the sheer volume of the rainfall overwhelmed the capital and left authorities with little chance of stopping the disaster. He said the torrential rains that claimed 9 lives and destroyed property. He says the only way to have stopped the floodwaters from entering homes would have been to transform the entire city into one giant drainage channel. So he disagrees.
I to some extent, I will not flow with him, but at least he could have minimized the extent of this damage.
Right.
When you drive, when you get to Circle and you see your door, you see heaps of sand in there. When you are from Caprice heading towards Tesano, the Odo drain is on your right. You see heaps of sand in there.
Yeah.
So are we saying that if we have released money to desilt, even we have reduced the level? Have you seen the response, the way they are bashing him on social media?
I know.
Of that comment that you made?
I know.
Yeah, he wouldn't have said that. He shouldn't have made that comment at all. Because at this time, the people have lost, some people have lost their family members.
Because in that same interview, he makes the point that even in the advanced world, Americas, the Australias, the UKs and so on,
there are disasters.
When the rains come down, they record floods. So it isn't as though, even if we've done almost all the things right, it would automatically stop the flooding from happening.
No, Moro. Moro. It's not about doing all the things right. Deserted is only one of 100 measures that ought to be taken. So deserting is not all the things. You understand?
Yes.
And the point he makes is valid. Who is saying that just deserting will solve this problem? Who is saying that just deserting gutters will solve this problem? This problem has many dimensions.
Okay, so I want him to land so that, because I like the point you're making. But
yes.
Once a title is done, you can come in.
Because he was talking, I was quiet and listening to him.
No, he's interjecting your argument.
He's distorting my,
he's strengthening
my flow.
Your argument. He's strengthening your argument.
At least my big brother should
your
take
flow.
notes. Yeah.
One comment by me disrupts your flow. Go and check your flow properly.
This is the second time he's interjecting me because I'm expecting at least keep cool, let me flow small. Because no, you have to. I was listening and enjoying your flow.
The Valco 1-2 was disturbing the flow. You introduced Valco in a discussion on floods, and you wanted it to just pass like that.
No. What I'm saying is that
when you're making a Valco comment, he actually wanted it to go on and on and on.
Not at all. But the point is that at least knowing him,
he was enjoying it.
Knowing him, Valco when we're not discussing.
Yes, I know.
But knowing him, he will have waited for me to finish. Then we jump in. you know. But clearly, like I'm saying,
he was just making a
I was
small
trying to make my point that these monies that is going to be given to victims of these floods, if they have been, you know, given out in the desilting, the dredging of these streams and these drains, at least could have minimized the level of this thing. When you go to Sakmono Lagoon, it is almost close to the rail line.
Yeah.
With weeds all over blocking the channel where the lagoon will pass under the channel into the Sea Atlantic. How are we going to clear it? How are we going to clear this? So it is a very essential part of minimizing the level of the floods that we are talking about. I was talking about the attitude of our people. And our own chiefs, some of our chiefs need to be blamed. Areas that are not meant to be sold are all gone. Yeah. Because these lands were reserved as nature to hold the level of the water, at least for some time, before gradually it moves into the Atlantic. It's all been sold. Look at the Weja Enclave. Look at the Weja Dam area. A lot of these lands around all those enclave areas are not supposed to be sold. But today they are all gone. The little downpour, the whole place become flooded. In fact, on Monday, I was on Joy News when the rain was falling. My prayer was that the Weja Dam should not fall. In as much as the whole place is flooded, when they begin to open the gates to spill out, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah.
So the attitude is where I am talking about, where some chiefs have made into as an enterprise, where lands that are not supposed to be sold, mangroves, used in part of Dansoba. I've been there. I was a regional minister, and I saw it and I stopped it. But these youth, the propensity for money making in this country, they don't care the consequences. All they want is dollars into their pocket. Build your houses, and when the rain comes, they go and destroy all your properties. Meanwhile, they made their money and they are gone. So here comes to the issue of enforcement. Enforcement. Why are the assembly sitting now? For people to build in places where they are not supposed to. When you are going to sign the permits, do you go to the ground?
No, you don't.
Do you go with your technical people to assess whether where they are siting this building is the right place to site? All you do is what? Sign. I didn't do that. Moro, as a regional minister, every morning when I come to office, we see, I don't drive straight to the office. I move around. Sometimes I also West Woko. I go to the airport area, I go to Medina and check all these places before I go and sit in my office.
Yeah.
You see refuse lined up all over the place. Then I call the MC. Where are you? Make sure you clear this field from here. So the enforcement of assembly authorities or the officers is what my concern is. It is a matter that we need to deal with. Again, for the past 10 to 11 months, no proper sweeping has been done. Did you see the number of refuse in the water?
Kojochu Bafu has a very interesting comment on that, but when you're done.
Did you see, for about 10, 11 months, the whole part of Accra, a day over 1,000 tons of refuse is generated. So if things are not swept and is washed down by these floods, and once in a while you see pockets of people dumping them anyhow.
But the assemblies have been given the responsibility.
They don't have the capacity. Moro, they don't have the capacity.
How do you know?
Because look at the state of the field. Logistically, they don't have. Financially, they don't have. Mechanically, they don't have. So how would they deal with it? So because of politics, you stop a major company that is helping us to clear these fields. I'm told he's in about 29 countries in Africa.
Yeah.
Where he's being valued. Because sanitation is science. Look at the public health. The public health crisis that is going to come out of this. Few weeks ago, around the same Weja area, where these tricycles are, they were going down this refuse there. There was a heavy downpour. And you see all these kinds of things. And people are living there, you see flies. At the end of the day, the same Zoo Lion who was asked to go and clear these fields for these places. So I think that let us take politics out and let's sit down. If the monies that Zimlion is paying to the workers is so low, what do we do? Please come, let's sit. I think what you are paying to your people is so low. You also have some costs that you run, i.e., your equipment, your fuel, your logistics. So how do you arrange so that at least every party will be satisfied? So that we clear this field from our system. Because if we don't do that, all these things wash out. And it helps in creating the floods that we will see. Because at the end of the day, human lives are going to be lost. Apart from the ones that have been dying in the water. Public health crisis. It is something that we also need to deal with. Then comes the issue of no release of Garrett funds. The World Bank has talked about it. Because if the funds are not released, the work has been done, certificates have been produced. Monitoring people have to go to the ground to assess the work that has been done. Then you certify and approve and get it done. If you don't release it, this is the cause of it. Because you want to control inflation. You want single-digit inflation. So because you don't want to spend. These are some of the issues that I think that government must sit down. The president must open his eyes and tell his finance minister, let the funds go. So long as the funds is going for a justifiable cause, you don't hold it back. You know, this is the price that we pay.
Yeah.
So I think that there are a lot of examples that we can learn from Holland. Because you've been traveling a lot. Holland, Netherlands, it's in a typical low-lying area. But they've managed to hold flats. Have they done it? To the extent that they even claim part of the sea. You know, they've claimed part of the sea as excess land for development. So clearly there's a lot that we can learn across the globe. It has to how to manage and deal with floods. But I think that what is happening purely we can attribute to ourselves because of one, human problem, the attitude of our own people, the way we do things, the way we sell lands indiscriminately without checking whether this is a mangrove area that can hold lots of water. Because all the water from the Akwapi Hills, they all come down, find their way into Accra, into the sea. So the little downpour that we have, that's the kind of cause that we're going to see. So the Garrett project, it is something that is very good. The finance minister must release the funds, allow the contractors to do their work, and also let us be also mindful the kind of attitudes that we put up all over the place because it's not going to help us. It's not going to help us at all. So clearly, I think that the floods, the way we see it, is not about talking. It's more about action now. And the minority, what they said, I'm in support of them. Yes, if you put a committee in place, and we are not seeing much from the committee, and floods is really destroying everywhere, it's important that we allow that committee to tell us something publicly. That consumption of whatever they have is not only meant for the president. Now the president is in the air, in the heli, moving out. When the people are dying on the ground, you're in a helicopter, flying in the air, watching down. You've been in government, this is your 6th year as president. And you have experience from June 3rd, what happened. Last year there was a rain. So you should be able to conjecture what exactly is going to happen. What are the measures that you are putting in place? It's not about flying in a helicopter, you come and, you're.
Okay. So I have a number of messages that have been sent to me. I'll take a break. When I come back, I would read those messages. Now, some of those messages are based on very, very important questions that, our viewers are asking. And I'm sure that perhaps you would help me with some answers as far as that's concerned. And there's also a woman who's watching us. She's 65 years. She turned 65 years today. In fact, she's been watching the show from its beginning, and she's still watching us. So we'll also show appreciation, express, and wish her a happy birthday.
When you went to do your mischief, I know the way you told me your voice.
Okay, so at this juncture, I get more of a mischief, or let's take a break.
No, I'm not saying
let's take a break.
Police ukwa asibashi ama bashi fulani cameraman gawe ni kaka kesa no bi aye tata de props
bɛyɛ da akɔ nsuo bɛyɛ da akɔ aha police city na yɛ wei nsuo bɛyɛ da akɔ bɛka ne topi a atwompi wei na nneɛma de topi na.
Envoys to the king of Edom, Moab, Ammon, the king of Tyre, the king of Sidon, and of course to the king of Judah, that God has put the city of Nebuchadnezzar, and that serving Babylon was the will of God. Any rebellion will lead to God himself punishing them with famine and pestilence. The king of Judah, against the false prophets and giving false hope and promise in the name of the Lord. Hananiah, a prophet from Gibeon, prophesied in the house of the Lord during those days. The priests and the people. Jeremiah himself was present. Let's listen to his prophecy. This is Jeremiah 28, verse 2 through 4. This is what the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, says. I will break the yoke of the king of Babylon. Within 2 years, I will bring back to all the articles of the Lord's house that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, removed from here and took to Babylon. I will also bring back to this place Jehoiakim, son of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, and all the other exiles from Judah, who went to Babylon, declared the Lord, for I will break the yoke of the king of Babylon. So this prophet Hananiah, a false prophet, claims that Babylon, Judah, will soon end. Jeremiah, who was present in the temple, disputed what Hananiah said as coming from the Lord. So Hananiah is saying that just 2 years from now, God is going to bring back the exile. And then Jeremiah said that is not how the prophets of old prophesied. They didn't do what you are doing. We didn't do them. So the word of the Maya for Hananiah. This is the prophecy. Listen, Hananiah. The Lord has not sent you. You have persuaded this nation to trust in lies. Therefore, this is what the Lord says. I am about to remove you from the face of the earth. This very year, you are going to die, because you have preached rebellion against the Lord. In the 17th month of that same year, Hananiah the prophet died. So Hananiah the prophet died 2 months right after Jeremiah's prophecy. It is a common phenomenon, brothers and sisters, to have this kind of spiritual atmosphere and experience when there is hardship on a land. There will be proliferation of churches and prophets because of suffering. Suffering is a major predicament that faces humankind. Suffering is not abstract. Suffering is not academic. Suffering is subjective. Objective, because we see people suffer. It makes people vulnerable to all forms of predatory tactics, to the extent that John Austin Barker, a bishop of the Church of England and a theologian, once said that for him, he thinks that religion is a root-finding activity out of suffering. Somehow, you can't fault him. You can't fault him. I'm sure you understand what he's trying to say. Now the word of God, the real word of God, comes to Jeremiah.
All right, so we're celebrating our Republic Day by commencing with the National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving. I'm sure that the man in your short is not new to you at all. I think it's Apostle Eric Nyamiche. I hope I got that correctly. Yes, he's the one who's leading the prayer. When the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, takes his turn to speak to us, would go back to the prayer or the event grounds and pick a live feed from there. I believe it's happening at Jubilee, the Jubilee House. Yes. All right. So I have a lot of messages, and I don't know how I'm going to do this. But first of all, let me wish this wonderful lady who, in fact, woman who is celebrating her birthday today. She is apparently she's been watching Good Morning Ghana for 15 years, and today is her 65th birthday. She's called Mama Adelaide. We've just asked her to inform us, to tell us where she's texting us from. So once we get that, we'll let you know. But she's 60. She turned 65 today, and she's been watching the show for 15 years. Wow, wow, wow. We can't thank you enough. We can only wish you the best of the day as you celebrate your birthday today. Happy birthday to you. Oh, okay. She's actually turning 65 in October. Oh, I see. Perhaps we could have waited in October to wish her happy birthday. Yes, but it's good to know that she's still tuned in and she's watching the show. So my sincere apologies. I thought today was actually your birthday. It's actually in October. All right, so in October, we would do the needful by celebrating here on the show. Perhaps we can even surprise our viewers by bringing you to the studio to talk to you about how the experience has been like watching Good Morning Ghana for 15 years and why you even decided to stay loyal to the show. So for persons who have been watching us and those who are yet to watch Good Morning Ghana would have been told what the experience has been like. Anyway, so she's the one in your shorts. Yes, Mama Adelaide. Good to know you're watching us. Yes. She's 65, but we will still get to know where she's actually texting us from. Yes, she's 66.
As a loyal viewer, you have to organize some cake.
Yes, in October.
October.
In October, yes.
Okay.
The good thing is that you're here, so that's sorted. Uncle C has been doing this bit every time he comes here. He gives his widow's mite, for people who are celebrating their birthday. And I know he doesn't want to talk about it. He's a very kind and very generous man.
Are you pushing
Kakano or one he shares. Anyway. So I'm told she says we can wish her happy birthday every day. Anyway, I'm Adelaide. As she tells Mr. Kwesi brother, she loves him very, very much. She admires him, and she's actually one of the reasons why she tunes in to Good Morning Ghana. All right. So let me go on now and look at some of the messages that have come through. So Kojo Chumbafa sent 2 different messages, right? Now, he says that, Moro, good morning. I fear the annual ritual of the hoopla about floods is here again. It is simply louder because the rains this year have more than previous years. We'll come back to this next year. Unless we understand that action needs to be taken. Engineering solutions that will right the wrongs that have created this environmental catastrophe. And I emphasize on engineering solutions. You can't destroy all the green spaces in a modern metropolis and expect concrete to protect you from floods. You can't allow indiscriminate land use and arbitrary spatial planning and expect not to float when the rains fall. The rings don't do politics, they just fall. In any case, why is water the gift of life that God gave us, killing all of us? Why is water the many nations will give an arm and a shoulder to get to create beautiful, arboretums? I hope I got the pronunciation there correctly. Arboretums and fruit and vegetables, gardens, killing us. And he says he also wants to take this opportunity to wish his brother Sisi Queno, the chief executive officer of the game,
key leaders and kill some others. But the Ghana we want, maybe it is time to settle down and begin to build. There is hope for the future. God has not abandoned this beloved nation Ghana yet. Only let us settle down and do our part, and God will breathe upon our efforts and turn them great. Matthew 12 verse 33 says, make a tree good and its fruits will be good, or make a tree bad and its fruits will be bad. For a tree is recognized by its fruits. You see the fruits on the tree, but the fruit is because the foundation is solid. The tree is good and its fruits are good. We need not be a people who have not sown or gather where we have not scattered seed. There must be a long-term, non-partisan, passionate process intended to give us the Ghana we want. Otherwise, but leadership is not about solving problems, but it is about contagious vision that drives a people to a planned destination. We should be able to know where we want to be in 50 years to come. Solid structure or solid structures that will carry this